Hi, Rachel. Hi,
I hope
everybody.
that wasn't on the beginning of the video.
I don't know. There might be a big,
Yeah.
just
Hi, everybody.
yeah. Welcome to Thursday. I'm just feeling, Rachel. I'm just feeling my energy is about 80%. I'm not,
Just
up to
bring what you
100.
got and I'll fill in the rest. You
You know
got
what?
this.
Thanks. I have changed up my. I've decided I want strong strength in my upper body, so I have changed up my exercise routine. It's kicking my butt.
hmm
It
And
is
have you
kicking my butt.
noticed your appetite go up?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It shocks me whenever I either get back to my strength training routine or I up my weights. Within a couple of days, I suddenly find myself just like hungry and needing to eat bigger
hmm
portions. And it's so
hmm
tricky because you got to, be mindful about it. You can
Right.
go overeat very quickly.
Yeah. I'm trying to eat more protein and egg whites have been my jam lately.
There you go.
Yeah. Whole real easily. And guess what? I'm putting nutritional yeast with them too.
Yeah, you mentioned nutritional yeast last
hmm
week,
hmm
and yeah, the brand that we both buy, I know, has like 8 grams of protein per serving,
Yeah.
which is just such
Yeah.
a great boost of protein and
Yeah.
flavor
hmm
and yeah, texture
Yeah.
and kind of cheesiness.
Yeah. Good.
So yeah.
Yes, and we've been talking about exercise and the barriers that kind of come up time and time again. I mean, it's
Mhm.
pretty very there's not this many, it's just this many and just
Yeah.
rinse repeat. Yeah.
Right. Really common,
Mhm.
shared among everyone, and there's not very many of them. It's kind of the same thing, same ones over and over again. So we talked about the stories we tell ourselves, the excuses. I don't have time. I'm not that kind of a person. I don't exercise.
Right.
I'm not a gym rat.
Mhm.
I don't want to get strong and bulky.
Mhm.
I mean, the list goes on, and we talked about that a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, we talked about maybe a mindset shift from some of
hmm
the stories we tell ourselves are so black and white.
hmm
Right, they're so binary, if you will, and they don't leave room. They're closed, and they don't leave room for anything else.
Right.
And so maybe and we've talked about shifting that to adding just a few more words to that. Like yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not great at this yet, or I don't enjoy exercise yet, or I've never
hmm
been good at figuring this exercise routine out yet, or I haven't
hmm
figured out a schedule to make exercise part of my normal routine yet. Even just that yet opens
hmm
up the mind to continuing to try to figure something out, and that there is an
hmm
option. There is a way to figure this out.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And we're really trying to close that knowledge what is it called? I have it written down. The knowing doing gap,
hmm
right? We
hmm
all know we talked about probably in our first episode in this series that we all know we should exercise. This is not news. We're not saying
hmm
anything that's brand new or that you don't already know. Everyone knows it's not for the not knowing about
hmm
exercise and even
hmm
how to walk or how to go, for a bike ride. Like these are all really basic, simple things. But then why don't we do it? What's that
hmm
gap between the
hmm
doing? So
Right.
this
Right.
week we talked about knowing versus embodied knowing. So,
Mm.
okay, up here,
Mhm.
cognitively, you should exercise. You want to exercise. Maybe you miss exercise. Depending on your relationship with exercise, it's in your brain, but has it connected in your heart or in your body? When
Mhm.
I say like knowing versus embodied knowing, what strikes in your imagination about that?
Well, I mean, it's the physical doing of it. I guess it's, if I want to embody the knowing,
Mhm.
I actually have to in my mind, I have to visualize myself taking the walk,
Mhm.
that might be the first step and then doing the walking, but, just seeing myself doing it, doing whatever the exercise is.
That sounds a lot like when they talk about in visualizing your and I'm not a golfer, but see the golf swing, be the golf
Yeah.
swing, we can sort of experience and experience without experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
We can embody it by really imagining it, picturing
Mm-hmm.
it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
picturing yourself on a walk and you're enjoying it. It smells
Mm-hmm.
good. And what would it be like to get out the door? And what would it feel like to get your shoes on? And,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of walking through it. So
Right.
imagining
Yeah.
yourself.
Right. Yes. And using all the senses, like you're talking,
Mm,
yeah, using all of your senses, you're imagining it. What are you feeling on your skin? What are you smelling? This lilac bush that I just walked past or something like that. What are you seeing on your
mhm.
walk? So, how is it feeling? Is it feeling in your body? Is it a little stiff so yeah, we can really, um, when we use our imagination, we can have the experience without doing the experience. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and practice it a little bit. So that, and I love how you kind
Mhm.
of broke that up into two parts. It's imagining and creating the mental imagery of experiencing it in your body and what would it feel like, and
Mhm.
experience it that way. And that also serves to really help build habit and build
Mm.
routines. If we can
Mhm.
picture us happening, we can picture some of the barriers along the way. Oh, that's right. Don't forget to grab my shoes and put them in my bag.
Mhm.
Or,
Mhm.
oh, that's right. I got to get my bike out and pump up my tires. Or,
Mhm.
oh, I've got
Mhm.
to call the gym and find out when that next swim class is. So,
Mhm.
it can get our minds thinking big picture and problem solving for barriers and
Right.
obstacles, and
Yeah.
seeing ourselves work through it. Okay, if I'm going to get up earlier, that means I've got to reverse engineer my evening. What do I
Mhm.
need to do in the evening to make sure I can get up a little bit earlier or get to the gym, whatever it is. So that embodied knowing starts there, and then you broke it down into the next phase, which would be the doing,
Mhm. Mhm.
experiencing it so that your body now understands it.
Mhm. Right.
Um, Someone who has experienced how good they feel after consistent exercise and movement has a different knowledge than someone who's only read about it.
Mhm.
And really anything we've experienced, if you've ever done something, you've embodied that experience,
Mhm.
and somebody else might be like, oh, tell me about that. And they might kind of live vicariously through you, but they don't know it in their own bodies.
Mm. Yeah.
What do you think
Yeah.
about that? What does that compare for you?
Right. 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 And I, well, yeah. And I mean, if we're just allowing ourselves the opportunity to experience this walking or this movement or the biking or the swimming or whatever it is for us,
Yeah.
and then giving ourselves permission to enjoy it.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and I think if we use that kind of visualization, then that might, we can think, oh, that's going to hurt or whatever, but maybe not actually. Maybe we're going
Yeah.
to feel it, but maybe we're going to feel a lot better afterwards. So, um, you know, actually, probably that could be part of the exercise is to, think about what it would feel like and feel good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anticipate the goodness that's going to come. We might
Mhm.
know from experience that there might be a little soreness, or it might be
Mhm.
tiring, or we might
Mhm.
get sweaty, or it might feel just really hard to take that first
Mhm.
step. We already
Mhm.
know all that. But what if we envisioned and imagined it feeling good? What if
Mhm.
we expected it to feel good, anticipated
Right.
it, looked
Yeah.
for, okay, in what ways does this feel good right now?
Mhm.
Um, I do a walking group with clients, and we talk about, we take kind of a poll on how we feel at the beginning of the movement, and maybe
Mm.
we're a little grumpy or annoyed, and the day's been hard, or we're feeling rushed, or a little stiff. And then what's the intention for the day, right? So, or
Mm.
what's the intention for the movement? What do I want from this?
Mm.
What is my expectation from this walk? So when we set, okay, I'm going to walk or move for the next 30 minutes, and our group is the 30-minute walk. So if I'm going to be walking for 30 minutes, what am I looking for at the end? So I sort of set an intention, set an
Mhm.
expectation. What do I
Mm.
want to feel? What do I hope will happen?
Okay, yeah.
What do I want to change in my brain? What do
Mhm.
I want to change and feel in my
Yeah.
body?
Yeah.
And there's something that happens when we set that kind of hope and
It is
expectation.
so true. That is so true, Rachel. When you set an expectation,
Mhm.
what would make this great?
Yes, great
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would make this exercise session great?
Mhm.
And when we just ask that simple question at the
Yeah.
beginning, uh, um, and then it really sets our mind in a very positive way. And, it's more than the power of positive thinking. There's real physiology here
Mhm.
um, that is pretty amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's so amazing. I have a quick walk in the morning. It's not a necessary, it's more of a get ready for the day kind of a walk versus,
Mhm.
you know, so that's, I love the way that we're talking about it because that's
Mhm.
my expectation of the walk. It's
Yeah.
not to, break any land speed records or,
Yeah.
you know, my
Yeah.
my expectation, what I want is to have that morning sun
Mhm.
exposure and breathe fresh air and maybe say, wave to the neighbors that are going to work and just have kind of a little bit of alone time
Mhm.
um, before I start my day. A little quiet time before I start my day, a little
Mhm.
meditative time, and I look because I have that expectation. I look forward
Yes.
to that, and I mean it just
It
you know
shows up every time.
shows up. It
It
shows up.
shows up
Yeah.
every time.
Mhm.
So that's your embodied knowing, right?
Yeah.
Your body and your mind and your heart and your soul, your spirit,
Mhm.
it all has a memory and a history of
Mhm.
even it only takes even just one experience to
Mhm.
now have an embodied knowing. Ooh, there was that
Mhm.
time that I walked and
Mhm.
this is what I felt or thought about, or this is how it helped me, or this is what was so
Mhm.
good about it. This is what was
Yeah.
so great. I want
Yeah.
that again.
Right.
And sometimes for people who are trying to close that gap between I know I should exercise, I want to exercise, but I never do it, or I can't get in
Yeah.
the habit. Closing that gap sometimes is as easy as someone feeling one genuine felt experience,
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
memory. So, is there a
Mhm.
memory you can
Right.
latch onto from your
Yeah.
past?
Yeah.
And if not, how
Mhm.
could you be willing to just be
Mm.
brave to start and create
Mhm.
one memory?
Yeah. Yeah, think of a time. Think of a
Mhm.
time when you enjoyed exercise. Think of
Mhm.
a time. And
Yeah.
most of us are going to be able to come up. It might go back to when we were a kid or something like
Sure.
that. Maybe it goes
Yeah.
back way far. But because you think about kids, they move all the time. You don't have to tell
Mhm.
kids to move. They move. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we can come up with a memory where we enjoyed exercise or
Mhm.
movement of some kind, and we can, hold on to that,
Mhm.
and that can really help us move forward in getting back to exercise. Yeah.
Right, and what I think is so, insightful about what we're talking about, especially when we look back as kids, um, it could be easy to say, "Well, I was a kid and I moved and nobody had to ask me to move, I just did it." Except that when people go back to their childhood and latch onto a memory of movement, it typically helps remind them of who they are
Mhm.
and defines an identity. So a great
Mhm.
example of this was my mom. My mom one time told me how much she loved to ride bikes, and I never knew this about her, and she said when she got her first bike as a kid, she couldn't believe the freedom it gave her and the feeling
Mhm.
of the air in her hair, and she could escape and, like, go wherever she wanted. There was a sense of independence and freedom and, bravery and, like, "I can do this. Look at me on my bike all by myself." And that's identity, right?
Mhm.
That's value. That's so much more than, like, I was moving to exercise to lose weight or burn calories, right? Whoops. Yeah, thumbs up. It was a reconnection of who she was as a child, and it brought back
Mhm.
so many great memories. Now suddenly she was like, "I need to get a bike again. I love bike riding. I
Yeah.
I want to tap back into that feeling because she knows it's still
Right.
part of who she is."
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of when we look back, even when we're children, even if it's a sport that you feel like you can't do right now, could you latch on to just the feeling of strength,
Mhm.
feeling of movement or freedom in body or
Yeah.
mobility?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Mhm,
It's so important. Rachel, this moving your body. It's as important as breathing,
mhm,
sleeping, eating. I mean, moving.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And
Mhm.
I keep coming back to that question we just identified of what would make this great. It's a great practitioner
Yeah.
question.
Mhm.
When I ask people at the beginning of a coaching question or coaching session, what would make this call great? It sets
Mhm.
the whole tone for what we're
Mhm.
both anticipating and making
Yeah.
sure that we stay on track to get where they want to go.
Yeah.
And we can do the
Mhm.
same for ourselves in any
Yeah.
situation,
Any
not just
situation. What would make the day great? Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would make this
Yeah.
interaction with my friend great?
Mhm. Yeah.
What would make my workday great? You know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
Hmm.
Great.
Hmm.
What's gonna make your dinner great, Rachel?
Oh, what's gonna make my dinner great? Ooh, you're gonna like this one a lot. Salmon. So,
Oh.
my son works at the Better Beef
Uh-huh. Oh.
company, and he can get us some salmon at great. What's great is that they're contracting with some local fishermen who go up to
Mhm.
Alaska and hook and bait and fish and get
Mhm. Yeah.
the salmon. So I feel good about the way it's sourced
Mhm.
and the way it comes to my plate. So we're gonna have probably really simple. When you have a good piece of salmon, it just needs to have a couple of contributing actors on the plate. There's
Mhm.
not much more
Mhm.
you need to do. So it'll just be like a nice salad, a nice side salad,
Yeah.
and then the fish
Nice.
is the star of the show. So
Yes.
that's gonna make it great and so
That's great.
flavorful. How
Yeah.
about you? What's gonna make your dinner great tonight?
Yeah. Well, that is a great question.
Did we catch you in a moment of not sure?
Well, I actually am I'm going to be ending a fast, so I have
Ah.
to be kind of choosy about it. So I
Mhm.
might do some cooked vegetables, and I don't know, maybe I'll go back to my egg whites. I don't know. It's going to be something small.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy, light, gentle on your stomach
Easily, yeah, uh-huh.
to
Maybe I have avocado there. So it's not any big elaborate meal that I've planned. My poor
Mhm.
husband. Sorry. Sorry, Kenny.
Should you be
He's on his
listening?
own. He's on his own.
He's on his
You're on
own.
your own, Kenny.
That's right. That's right. Well, I hope
So,
for you guys listening,
mhm,
you're thinking about what's for dinner and
mhm,
what would be great about today, what could be
mhm,
great about your movement, what could be great about just taking that first next step. And if you
mhm,
don't feel like you have that embodied knowledge of goodness, maybe a lot of your memories of exercise and movement are negative, then
mhm,
being brave to make a memory,
mm,
to start fresh, to
yeah,
create new memory and
mm,
new positivity around a small moment of memory, and then embrace it
mm,
and build on it.
yeah,
Embody it and then continue to grow it
so
in
good.
a way that feels good for
Yeah,
you.
yes, that's great. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your day,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you next week, everybody. Take care.